Welcome back to this week's Park Rapids Area Fishing Report brought to you by Delaney's Outdoors. My name is TJ Erickson. I'm with TJ's Guide Service. Well, it looks like we have finally hit a time where we have a little bit more stable ice conditions. I'm sitting on around 9 inches right now, and I would say that's pretty consistent across the area as having 8+ inches depending on the lake. So a lot of our lakes are starting to be accessible with snowmobiles or ATVs. Now again, always be careful when you are heading out in any type of vehicle, but it's looking like we are having a lot more accessibility with some of those snowmobiles, ATVs, some of those machines. So our smaller lakes, they're probably looking at 10+ inches depending on the lake, depending on what they have for snow cover. And our bigger lakes, I would say that they are between 6 to 10 inches on average over some of those bigger bodies of water. Moving on to the fishing, the bite's been pretty decent. This early ice time can be such a good time to go out and catch a few fish. Panfish, walleye, pike, I've been hearing some good reports, and I've been catching some fish as well myself. For walleyes, you're still looking at some of those weed edge bites or some of those initial breaks off of those shallow weedy flats, but I'm also starting to see some fish on some of this deeper mid-lake structure that's surrounded by deep water. Panfish, we're looking at two different types of bites right now. We're looking at a weed-oriented bite, especially if there's any shallow weedy flats where there's some good green weeds. It seems like both crappies and bluegills are hanging out in those areas right now. And also we're getting that deep basin bite. That's that typical winter bite that you hear about that you can experience. And if you have some electronics, you can really move around, find some of these basin areas, and you can use your electronics and cover some water and get on some pretty good schools of fish and have some pretty good action, especially in those low light periods, both early morning and late into the evening. Your tungsten jigs with either plastics or crappie minnows are always a safe bet this time of year to go try catch some panfish, especially if you're looking to target some crappies. I would maybe use some of those crappie minnows if you're looking to catch some bigger fish. Also, I love using both spoons, some jigging spoons for catching some of those bigger crappies, and also smaller rattle baits. I was out just recently, had some really good luck catching decent sized crappies on a small rattle bait. I caught some on a few other things too, but my best bait was a smaller rattle bait. And it's also really nice because you don't have to continue to rebait if you're using wax worms or if you're using crappie minnows, or even if your plastics are falling off. If you're looking for a little more detailed explanation, a little more detailed description of how I break down a lake and how I go about trying to search for some crappies over the basin, I'll put a link in the comments below, and it will go over a lot more details and show you exactly how I break down a body of water and use my electronics to find schools of crappies and then to target some of those bigger fish. As always, make sure you're stopping into Delaney's. That way you can get all the bait, all the gear, everything that you need, any information, any questions that you might have. They would love to help. Again, there are some different hours right now because of Christmas, so make sure you're checking the Facebook page and make sure you're giving a call in case you're wondering if they are open. That's all we have for this week. I hope you're able to get out on the ice over the next couple weeks and catch some fish. And as always, stay safe. Good luck.